Today, I'm going to be refreshing the fuel pump assembly on a 2018 FE501, the Husqvarna, the bike I raced down in Mexico. Getting that all tuned back up and ready for the next desert race, which will be taking place before we know it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. I'll show you how to do some stuff. We'll learn how to do some stuff together, and yeah, we'll have some fun. Alright, so, like I said, we're going to be refreshing the fuel pump assembly from the Husqvarna. So, here's the old one. I started taking it apart just to kind of see what was going on, and found out that there was just like a ton of corrosion, and I'll show you a picture of some of that here. But so I started disassembling it and thinking like, oh, maybe I could try to salvage it. Everything is in working order, but it's... who knows where some of that corrosion is, flakes of rust in these lines and the filter. Luckily, nothing made it to the engine, but because I checked all the fuel filters up until that point in this fuel system. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up. I've got a new piece of line, some new fittings so we don't have to use these weird clamps. Fuel pump, which is this guy right here. It lives inside this housing. And a couple other things here. The pressure regulator, that's new as well. So we're going to swap out the new parts and kind of make this fit the bike again. So get this out of the way here. Hi. So here's the replacement fuel pump. I got this on Amazon. Quantum fuel systems from High Flow Fuel. Got good reviews. Comes with a bunch of parts that we don't need. That it's vehicle specific. This is a kind of a universal kit. Some use filters like this. We don't really care about any of this. All we care about is the pressure regulator, this filtered screen, another Mahle inline fuel filter, and the actual fuel pump assembly here. And the original terminals connections here are all corroded and broken, like physically broken.
Here,
I'll show you that in a second. So I ended up buying a set of new spade connectors. So we'll be doing a little bit of crimping and maybe soldering. I'll explain the pros and cons of that when we get to it. Let's start by kind of disassembling this garbage here, and it'll become backup pieces if I don't throw it out. So it's kind of cold in here. So all this like plastic, the rubber fittings are kind of, they're really hard. So we're going to use a heat gun and try to warm it up a little bit. There's no fuel in this system. Oh, maybe a little bit down there. So we'll just be careful not to put any heat on there. This is totally drained out here. So we'll just be really careful. We'll start up here. No, we won't. We'll start right here, and we'll see if we can soften that enough to slide this off. And because I want to reuse this, they only gave you one section of line here, so we're going to use that for the pressure regulator, and we'll try to reuse this line here going to the fuel filter. Whether that's right or how it was intended, I have no idea. So we're just going to kind of pretend like we kind of maybe know what we're doing, and hope that it works. I've given up. We're going to cut that off, and we'll see what's underneath. It should just be a barb like the other one. I don't think we were going to get that off. Yeah, that was just too brittle. So you can see underneath just this barb matches up with that barb. So like I said, these little connections here, the positive and negative that actually send power to the fuel pump, they're all corroded and nasty. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these and we're going to put new terminals on there. That way they'll connect nice and cleanly to the new fuel pump. All right, it's like we're defusing a bomb here, but we're going to cut both lines. I'm going to do one at a time because they're different sizes, just so I don't get confused. So we'll start with the negative here. This is the black line. Snip it. Take the wire stripper and strip back like, I don't know, 1/4 inch. I'm not really good at telling that. I mean, whatever that is. I don't know. Can you tell what that is? Strip back that much. And then that was the little size. So we come over here. We got this guy, and that's a female. So we're gonna crimp on this little female-sized terminal thing there. Go on, focus. See it? It's so cute. It's so little. So now, what we'll do is we'll put that there. You pinch it. Great. So now, that is almost done. There, you can see the crimped connection right there up close. And like I said, we're almost done, but not quite. Like, well, what about soldering? Can you solder it? Yes, you could. You could solder this connection here, but what might end up happening is the solder might wick up into the wire, and what that'll do is that'll create too much rigidity in here. And so, since you're on a motorcycle, on a desert motorcycle, on a dirt bike, all that vibration in the tank could put undue stress further up the line, and you eventually could split this connection, then you are without a fuel pump. Now, it's probably a bigger issue in different applications. Like, I probably could get away with soldering this and being fine. But we're just going to stay with the mechanical connection, and then we're going to take a piece of fuel-safe, marine-grade shrink wrap, and we'll slide that over. We got lucky because we didn't put it on first, but since this is a small connection, a small fitting, we can slide that on. We'll take that heat gun away from the fuel that's spilled, and we will shrink that down around this spade connector. There. Clamp. Boom. Done. So those are all done. So now we'll move on to... Maybe we'll move on to the pressure sensor, pressure regulator. Oh, it is my wife. Hi. Alright, I think I said that we were going to try the pressure regulator first. We are going to cut this back right here carefully because this piece is plastic. You don't want to split that, but we are going to cut this back. So we take this guy with our little screwdriver, loosen her up. We are going to slide it over the this barb down here carefully. That hose now, you can see, is on that plastic barb, and now we can go and add the pressure regulator thing on this end of the hose. I can't remember what we were talking about in the last clip. So this whole assembly here, the new connections are done. This hose is done. The regulator's done. We're going to end up spraying this with some contact cleaner just to get some of the nasties off of there. So this section is done. I'll put that aside for right now. Next, we're going to move on to the actual pump assemble, or the actual pump itself. You can see the old one here. This had like all nasty, flaky rust and nasties on there. And I'm sure that the inside there is gross as well. So here's our new one. And you got to do a little bit of assembly to it. You've got this filter here. So this right here, look at, oh man, it's so clean. You can see. Oh my God, it is so clean. And this is what the one that I took out of the bike looked like. So you can see a big difference between the two. Can I get that to focus? Yeah. So big difference. So we're gonna get rid of this guy. Gone. And this filter attaches to this plastic clip. which attaches to the bottom of this, and then this whole assembly goes into this container here. And we'll get to that in a minute because we got to clean that out as well. But right now we're going to assemble this guy. All right, so we got this guy here. We're going to start by taking this plastic adapter and sticking it right like this. So that pops down. Again, it's plastic, so you want to be kind of careful with it, but it should sit pretty close to flush. It presses in like that, and you've got this little plastic donut that is supposed to go on top of this little protruding piece here. And so this part's installed. Now we take this little filter and pop that in. And now this assembly here is totally done. All right, so I've cleaned all the assemblies with contact cleaner, made sure I got any of the little rusty crusties as clean as I can, just so the fuel system is totally free from any debris. I got the fuel line. I put it on a little heater just to make it more malleable. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure it up to the same length as this, cut it, and then assemble everything. All right, so the memory card on my big camera is full because I forgot that I was shooting in 4K, and I filled up a 32 gigabyte card in no time. So now we're going to start just assembling it, and I'll show you that while we're going. So what I've done is I've fished this through here. So now we can attach this to the inline fuel filter. Oof. I'm gonna heat this up on the heater again because it's stinking cold in here. So I'm gonna put this on the heater again so it'll hopefully go on there a little bit easier. And then we'll wait. Okay, so everything here is now assembled how it needs to be, so we can actually start clicking it back together and plug in where we need to plug in. This plug can only go one way into this up here. Let's make that little click. And just give that a nice click down. Through the magic of editing, I have swapped out this guy here for the one that came with the kit, just because this has a lower, it'll clear more. So this one with the adjuster got in the way of this plug, and you were twisting it, it wasn't quite right. So we're gonna use this, we're gonna pull it over here. You gotta pull this off a little bit because the way it sits into that little groove, you want the hose on the outside so it can sit fully in here. So I've got this all lined up where it should be. Push the thing in, and then 2 screws that you took out originally go right back into where they were. So you screw these things down. Let's see, I'm gonna pinch right on that side and right on that side, and that should cinch that down where we want it. So we got one shot. Just in from the barb and pinch. Wow. I'm gonna buy some of those. Yeah, so look at that. That's how it should be. It just crimped right on there. And yeah, no, that was cool. That was easy. So I don't want to squeeze it so much that we snip it, but okay, that's good. So that's on there. So now this whole assembly is totally done. We did it. All right, well, that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me while I work on that fuel pump assembly for the race bike here. Hope you enjoyed it.